This Southwind Coach Conversation brought to you by Dave's Collision Shop in Ossian, Becker Hardware in Ossian, and Fidelity Bank and Trust in Ossian and Calmar. We're with Southwind boys basketball coach Blake Moen for the first time since 1987. The Southwind Warrior boys basketball team is heading to the state tournament, and Blake will focus on the tournament run here in a second, but Saturday night, you get to coach in a sub-state basketball team. Your team wins against Gladbrook Rhinebeck. That was a pretty cool thing. 3 days later, something even cooler. Your wife gives birth to a bouncing baby boy. Describe this last week for you personally.
Well, first off, Darren, thanks again for your coverage. Really appreciate it. Honestly, from a personal level, man, it's things have just gone so fast. I think that I'll look back on the past week or so, and it'll really sink in. I think it hasn't really sunk in all the things that have been going on. But man, I'm just so blessed. I've been absolutely blessed over the past, with basketball, like you said, we'll talk about. But over the past few days with birth of my son, he's doing great. I just am so blessed, though. My wife Sarah has just been amazing. She's been great. Of course, the whole basketball season, but just in general, last 9 months, we're just so thrilled with all the support we've gotten, the messages from our friends, from the parents of our players, from the community members, from the school. And I guess for me personally, I think it's something that I'll look back on. I don't know if it's really sunk in, all the things going on, honestly. But the fact is that everyone's healthy. And I'm really, really excited and happy about it. And I guess not a whole lot else to say, Darren, other than I've just been so tickled and excited and thrilled with the amount of support that we've gotten through this, and just the birth of my son has just been just a life moment that you'll never forget.
And nor should you. Obviously, that's a very important moment, and you've had other things going on this week. Always good to have good assistant coaches during this time too, right?
Derek Taylor's our assistant coach, and this he's one of the best to ever help as far as help out with just picking up the slack. Of course, I haven't been at practice since Tuesday night, of course. And we have a lot of logistics going down the state tournament, which are fun logistics to have. And, Coach Taylor has done an amazing job, and I'm just so appreciative. And I wanted to give him a shout out. He's really helped pick up a lot of the team logistical things, getting the state tournament itinerary finalized, details that we're trying to figure out for a send off and bus times. And of course, practices. I haven't been to practice for the past few days, and of course, with other things, with baby boy and whatnot. But just so appreciative of him and all that he's done for our program, especially over the past few days, and so appreciative of our athletic director Bruce Collison in helping as well, in our administration as well, has just done an amazing job of being understanding of where we're at, and me being away has been nothing but just support. We've had so many people step in and help out, and I just really want to give them a shout out and thank them very much.
To the transition back to the Gladbrook Rhinebeck game, the sub-state final down at Manchester, similar story, down 8 going into the fourth quarter. You guys in your 4 postseason games have outscored your opponents in the final period 72-30. What do you credit that to?
I think it really kind of started maybe back even during our Clayton Ridge game, our first round playoff game. There was a time last minute of the game we were down 2, and we were able to, and actually we were down 3, and we were able to come back, force overtime, and win the game. And I think that then trickled a little bit into the Wapsie Valley game, where we were again down going in the halftime, going to the fourth, and we kind of hung around and won. And then when we got into the Edco game, and then when we got into the sub-state final game against Gladbrook Rhinebeck, what I told our guys at the start of the fourth quarter is I said, guys, we've come back every single game in the fourth quarter. And I think, no matter how you do it, whether you hit threes, whether you play good defense, whether you hit free throws, you stop the other team's leading score, whatever it is, to me, it's the fact that we always believe during that stretch that we can win the game in the fourth quarter. We can be down 2, we could be down 8, we could be coming off our 2 very poor played quarters, and we can go in the fourth and still have a chance. And I think that's just a huge, huge credit to our guys buying into what Coach Taylor and I are trying to do with some of the schematics and some of the practice planning and the preparation and whatnot. I do think one in particular I do have to give a lot of credit to, especially in that fourth quarter, is our leader in Jacob Harold. There's something about, the first possession we had the ball, we're down 8 in the sub-state final. We worked the ball around a little bit, and then boom, we hit a 3. And then just like that, it's to a 5-point lead or 5-point deficit. But then to come back and to get a defense stop, bring the ball down the floor, Kale Kaboshik then hit some huge free throws. And then just like that, it's 49-49, and we traded buckets from there on out. But there's something about the start of a quarter and us getting that first bucket right away and that first defensive stop leading to points, I think set the quarter up to go in our favor the rest of the way.
And obviously the program and the school district hasn't been to this level in basketball in quite some time, but the kids that you just mentioned, they've been on the big stage in other sports quite a bit, whether it be football or basketball or the spring sports. Knowing the fact that they've been on that big stage quite a bit in the other sports, how much does that help in those certain situations?
Oh, huge. Darren, you said it. We haven't played in a sub-state basketball game for a long time, so it was new for all of us. However, we had guys that have played in the state tournament in football. We've had guys that have played in the state tournament in baseball or sub-state finals. Same thing with cross country and track. And so the fact that although we haven't been here for a while, and none of us, other than Coach Taylor, who played on the 2000 team that made it sub-state, otherwise, this is all brand new to us. But the fact that we have guys in other sports that have been in these moments, it helps. It helps with preparation. It helps with some of the pregame stuff that we do, because a lot of it kind of feels the same. I know it's a different sport, but it feels the same as well. And, quite honestly, that's why I'm such a huge proponent for our guys playing in multiple sports to be involved, because participating in again, the state tournament in baseball and track, whatever sport it is, that's going to help you get to a point in basketball. And I think it was a huge help for us to just continue to battle, and knowing that we've had guys that have done it in baseball and other sports too.
And with what you've had going on this week, you might not be the right guy to answer this question, but how do you transition from that jubilation of getting to the state tournament as a program for the first time in 34 years to work to be done mode? Because you got a game coming up on Monday, and you're taking the floor to be as successful as you can. How do you handle that transition?
Honestly, I'm a big guy that believes that when you have a team that has a lot of seniors, I think you can your seniors can lead you in a lot of ways. And it takes some pressure off the coach. And what I mean, to answer your question, Darren, is, Saturday night, Sunday, we were all fired up, of course, after our big win over Gladbrook. Monday morning, we get into our meeting, and I was Monday, we didn't really practice. It was more just a team meeting and talk about what the week was going to look like. And, I was talking about, just how excited we were. It was a great win. We're going to the state tournament, and our guys couldn't stop talking about how they wanted to start practicing and they wanted to start getting ready for Northland. And here I am, talking about how, hey, it was a great win Saturday, and our guys just wanted to get in the gym and practice, and they were wondering why we weren't practicing that day. So I think I have to give big credit to our senior class on that, because I think that they kind of set the pace to be hungry, to kind of help, so that our guys are always hungry and ready to get back after it. But I think in particular, we talked to the guys quite a bit about, it's a great win. And I think one thing that we've had to work through is having that great win and then having 9 days then to get ready for your next game. And so we've tried to, I know Coach Taylor and I have, when I was at Price early part of the week and Coach Taylor this week, we've tried to do, practice similar in a lot of ways, shorter practices. So we're not going in the gym for incredibly long, a lot of skill work, but still doing some team stuff, and just try to stay consistent in that regard, but keep it very light. We want to stay in basketball shape, but we also don't want to overdo it with our legs and whatnot, knowing that even today we still have 3 days before our state game. So honestly, a combination of that and just our seniors I think have showed some great leadership of keeping the guys hungry for the next game has really helped us in preparation.
You are the number 8 seed in the 1A state basketball tournament, but you look all the way back to 2020. The number 8 seed won the 1A state basketball tournament. Does that kind of help sell that, hey, anything can happen this time of year?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think, I look at it too with Wapsie Valley. Coach McCowan, huge, great year for them last year, win the state title, of course, and playing great basketball down the stretch. And the fact that they're so close to us too, really, only about an hour drive away. So I think that our guys know that, of course, and from last year's stretch with them, and that helps kind of piece maybe some relationships together of, hey, it's been done before with a similar record and of course the same seed. We're just as deserving. We've earned our way there as well. I think I said it, Darren, in one of our interviews before the postseason that, honestly, once you get there, records and everything else are kind of out the window. Really, and Wapsie Valley showed that last year in winning a state title as the 8th seed. And I think our guys know that, of course. And I think we kind of have that mentality that, hey, we're here. We're down here to play hard, and we're going to give it our best shot and see what happens.
That being said, you got a pretty good challenge with Northwind Lynx being your opponent. In the last 6 years, they've played 138 games. They've won 133. That's just what we see on paper. I'm sure you've watched them a little bit on film. How good is this team?
Yeah, Darren, there's a reason they're that good, and that's and there's a reason they're consistently at the state tournament, looking for state championships, won a state championship, all those things. They're a very good program. Coach Mike Calmar, I give him so much credit and respect. One of the best in our state, and does such a fine job of, you see things of how they are as a team, but just some of the things they do also off the court in community service and, leadership and those things. So their program is very well done. And I give a great credit to Coach Calmar and his staff for all the years that they've done that. And they are. They play a very fast style, Darren. They play about 6-7 guys. They're rotating those in, but they play very fast. They want to press you virtually all game. They want to force you into a lot of full court traps, run kind of a run and jump, man-to-man kind of full court press, and really just get in your face and force you to make some really good passes around them. And then in transition on their offense, they push the ball like crazy. And so they provide a lot of challenges for teams, I think. And it's a big challenge for us we're going to have to really be ready to go against a very athletic team, a very well-coached team, a team that puts up a lot of points, a team that has also been in some games where they've had to beat similar teams like Edco than us in close battles as well. And like I said, Darren, they're at the state tournament for a reason, and they have the records that they do for a reason. They are a very good, well program. And I think there's some things, though, that with that being said, that we think we can hopefully try to take advantage of, that we maybe have a little bit of advantage of in some ways. So we're going to try to do some things to slow down their transition and break their press and whatnot. So we're working on those things in practice as well. But no, you're right. In looking at it, I think kind of going in when looking at the seeds and even after we saw the Northland win, it was pretty easy for me to guess that they were probably going to be the number 1 seed because they're just such a fine program and we'll have to play well to beat them.
How much of it from your perspective will be just hanging around? You've been able to do that quite a bit here in the postseason, and you've proven that if you're within striking distance in the fourth quarter, you can get the job done. How key is it in the big picture to just hang around against another very good basketball team?
No, I think you're right, Darren. I think that's probably one of our biggest, keys to the game. And that's, quite frankly, that's kind of how it's been in some of our other games, of course, is just, when we get in the fourth quarter, just to kind of hang around and be ready. Because we've proven over games that if we're at least kind of hanging around in the game, we have a chance, and we've done it before. I think with a team like North Lynn, we have to try to, like I said, take advantage of things that we feel like we can take advantage of, but also try to control the pace a little bit of the game, not let things get out of hand, and just try to give our guys the best chance that when we hit the fourth quarter, when we've shown that we're at our best, especially in recent games, that we can hang around and try to go get that win. I think that's the ultimate test for our guys, is being able to do that. And we're going to try to work on some specific things in practice against their X's and O's and against everything else. But we've proven we can do it. If we've proven we can get on. I guess what I'm saying is we've proven that if we can keep it close in the fourth quarter, we can grind out a win. So a matter of getting there is going to be a big challenge for us, but something that I think that we're excited for to do.
Final question for you. What is going to be your itinerary heading down to Des Moines? You're going to have a send-off, everything like that. What's going to be on the docket in making the trip to the capital city?
Yeah, no, we're really looking forward to it. We leave Sunday kind of early in the day, around 11:30, and we're going to do a little bit of a send-off with our families, and community members are going to kind of send us off on our bus trip down to Des Moines. Bus trip down there, we're actually going to go down there and practice a little bit. Huge shout out to Handle University. We really appreciate them and the opportunity. They're located down in the Des Moines area, but we really appreciate them allowing us to be able to come in and practice. So we're going to go down to Handle University and practice for a little bit there. Team supper, looking at a team supper as well. We'll be staying in a hotel that actually it works out great, because Mark Johnson is kind of one of the main guys that's hooked us up with Marriott in West Des Moines there. So we'll be staying there that night. And with the 10 a.m. show on Monday, we'll be having a fairly early wake-up call to get up and move, breakfast, make our way over to Wells Fargo, and then tip off at 10 o'clock. So it'll be a good trip, good to get down there the day beforehand and be able to practice still and whatnot. And although it's a 10 a.m. game, it sounds like we're going to have a lot of community members and fans that are planning to come down for the kind of Sunday night or Monday for sure for the game. So we're looking forward to that as well. And it's going to be a fun trip, but it's also going to be something that we're looking forward to, just to be able to compete at Wells Fargo. Because like you said, Darren, we haven't been there for so long. It's been so many years, but we're so excited for the opportunity to play. We're excited for the opportunity for it. And I just one thing I wanted to give I know I kind of mentioned it, but just a huge shout out to our community and just the support we've gotten. From the wins and the following and everything else, it's been overwhelming. The amount of messages of old alumni that I get that I don't know, but they're messaging me congratulations and whatnot. And they've been awesome, and some of the Southwind alumni that I do know, I've reached out, and friends and community. It's just been a really fun week for everyone. And I just can't say enough about it. I really do appreciate it. And we're looking forward to playing the state tournament on Monday morning.
And not that anybody cares, the last year Southwind was at the state boys basketball tournament. My elementary school teacher was someone by the name of Judy Moen. I believe you're familiar with her, correct?
That is correct. That is correct. So I don't know. Does that make me sound young or you old, Darren? I don't know. I think
it's the latter, my man.
Yeah.
First of all, Blake, congratulations on Matthew Phillip. Congratulations to your rock star wife for handling things very well as most of us knew she was going to. Second of all, best of luck to the state at the state tournament and making the trip down to Des Moines come Monday. We'll look forward to chatting with you after the game, and hopefully you can shock the world.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, Darren. No, I really appreciate your coverage through this and really appreciate it. And like I said, I can't thank everyone enough. And I really just have to kind of end it with thanking my wife, Sarah. I know I said it earlier, but she's awesome and great. And has just been so supportive. And I just can't say enough. So I really appreciate that as well. And thank you to the community and thank you for your coverage.
This South Wayne Coach Conversation brought to you by Fidelity Bank and Trust in Ossian, Dave's Collision Shop in Ossian, and Becker Hardware in Ossian.